Assalamualaikum dear students, welcome to NIVS Home School. Hope you all are fine by the grace of Almighty. This is Kamrun, Assistant Teacher of English, National Ideal English Version School, Day Shift. My dear students of class 5, today I am going to take your Bangladesh and Global Studies class, and our today's topic is chapter 6. That means climate and disaster. So all of you take your Bangladesh and Global Studies books. So let's start our class. Chapter 6, Climate and Disaster. Now look, at first we will start with the first lesson, that is climate change. So we will know about the climate change. Weather is the average temperature. So if you want to know about the climate, at first you need to know about the weather. So what is weather? Weather is the average temperature, rainfall and air pressure during a short period like a week. So it is the average temperature or the rainfall or air pressure for a short period of time, like a week or a day. So this is called weather. You can underline this sentence. Okay, the definition of climate is average weather over a long period like 30 or 40 years. So climate is the average weather, that means average temperature, average rainfall or average air pressure in a certain place for a long period like 30 to 40 years. So this is called climate. So you can underline this one also. So this is the difference between weather and climate. And the natural location and climate of Bangladesh put it at risk of natural disasters like floods, cyclones and earthquakes. So our natural location and the climate of our country put us at risk of natural disasters like cyclone, floods or earthquakes. The climate is changing throughout the world for various reasons. So there are different reasons for changing the climate throughout the whole world, and most are due to man-made pollution from factories and vehicles, which causes global warming. So most of the causes of the climate change are man-made. Man-made pollution from factories and vehicles, and those pollution causes global warming. That means the earth getting warmer day by day, and this in turn causes ice to melt and rivers to dry up, which further damages the environment. So what are the results? It causes ice to melt and rivers to dry up, which further damages the environment. And there are few points. Climate change causes different impacts in Bangladesh. So now the climate is changing. So what are the impacts of the climate change in Bangladesh, or what are the results of climate change in Bangladesh? So there are different types of causes or impacts of the climate change in Bangladesh. We will know about it, and these are very important. So increased average temperature, heavy rainfall or less rainfall, more cyclones, frequent severe floods, damage of agricultural land from increased salinity, trees and animals are destroyed, groundwater level is going down. Salinity means the increase of salt in soil. So these are the impacts of climate change in Bangladesh. All of you will learn these points. When climate change becomes very severe, it causes more natural disasters. It is estimated that by 2050, 20% of Bangladesh's land area might be flooded by seawater. So this is an estimation that by 2050 year, 20% of Bangladesh's land area might be flooded by seawater. So it will go under seawater. The impact on flood production, housing, health, employment would be serious. Therefore, along with other ministries, the Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief has been working to manage the risks. So who worked for the natural climate and disaster? The Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief. Now we will go to next page, I mean page number 49. Now look, section C is very important for you. Find out the information about cyclone like Cedar in 2007 generated in the Bay of Bengal. So there is a cyclone named Cedar which occurred in 2007, and it generated in the Bay of Bengal, and its speed was 160 km/h and caused death to 3,447 people. So I mean it causes a huge loss of it caused the death of 3,447 people. Cyclone Aila, so this is another natural disaster. Cyclone Aila in 2009 caused the death of 330 people, 8,208 were missing, and over 1 million were homeless. So it was a great disaster for our country, Cyclone Aila, which occurred in 2009. It has a great impact in our country. Now look, 330 people were 30 people lost their life, and 8,208 people were missing, and more than 1 million, that means more than 10 lakhs people became homeless. That means they don't have a home to live. So these informations are very important, all of you will learn it. Now we will go to our next lesson, that is riverbank erosion. Bangladesh is a country with many rivers. We all know about it. Ours is a riverine country, and that is why Bangladesh is prone to river erosion. So Bangladesh is a riverine country, and that's the reason that is the reason that Bangladesh is prone to river erosion. So if the banks burst, valuable farming land is dissolved in rivers. So if the banks burst with heavy flow of water, valuable farming land is dissolved in river. You can see the picture, the valuable land is dissolved in the rivers. Homes and villages, roads, railways, schools and colleges are dissolved. So because of the river erosion, what are the question might come, what are the result of river erosion? So you will take the help of these lines. Because of the river erosion, we valuable farming land is dissolved in the river, and also homes, villages or roads, railways, schools and colleges or other institutions also dissolved in rivers. So you can underline this sentence also. So as a result, economic and social lines are damaged severely. So many people become poor, and we have lost our properties because of this river erosion. So as a result, what happened? Economic and social lines are damaged seriously. So one of the natural causes of erosion is flood. So this is the natural causes of erosion. This line is important for matching or for filling the blanks or for question answer also. So one of the natural causes of erosion is flood. So this is the natural causes of river erosion. And now look, the extra volume of water in the rivers strike the banks. So what strikes the banks? The extra volume of water in the rivers strike the banks, and it causes the river erosion. So river erosion during flood causes immense damage. So when there is a flood, there is the extra volume of water in the river banks. Extra volume of water strikes the river banks, and it causes a serious damage. There are also man-made threats to river banks. So what are the man-made threats? Extracting sand from river beds and cutting down trees near river bank. So these are the man-made. You will learn these reasons, and man-made causes and natural causes threaten the normal flow of river. So this is the these two causes are man-made, and what is the natural causes of river erosion? Flood is the natural causes of river erosion. Okay, now we will go to next page. Now look, in next page, section C is important for you. All of you will learn those information. Now look, Water Development Board. So there is a board, Water Development Board, who are responsible for the river banks. So who are responsible for the river banks? Water Development Board are responsible for the river banks, and they gave 3 suggestions. And what are they? Building embankments for flood prevention. So we need to build embankments to prevent flood. Maintaining sluice gates and culverts for irrigation. So we need to maintain sluice gates or culverts for irrigation. I mean, in dry weather we can irrigate our farming lands. So that's why we need to make we need to maintain properly the sluice gates and culverts. Now, taking different preparations for maintaining cautions for flood. So these are the 3 suggestions from the water board. So all of you will learn these 3 suggestions. These are important. Now we will go to our next lesson, lesson number 3, that means drought. Although some parts of our country suffer from frequent floods, other parts suffer from drought. So what is drought? That means drought means now look at this picture. There is the drought area. Drought means the a dry weather. I mean, there will be less rain. Let's read. The northwest of Bangladesh drought prone due to long lasting dry weather, insufficient rain and very few rivers. So dear students, all of you look at the map which is given in page number 53. All of you look at the map. It is given in page number 53. So these are the drought prone areas. I mean the northwest of Bangladesh. All of you go to page number 53 and you can see the map. There is the drought prone areas, and what are the name of these areas? The areas are Dinajpur, then Rangpur, this is Bogura, and this is Rajshahi. So those are the part of northwest part of our country. So these are the drought prone area. And why? Now look, the reason is given here. The northwest of Bangladesh drought prone due to long lasting dry weather, insufficient rain and very few rivers. So there are very few rivers. Now look at this map. In this part there are very few rivers, and their weather is dry for a long period of time, and there are less rain, that means insufficient rain. And there are some man-made causes of drought. Now look, the man-made causes of drought include, so what are the man-made causes? Cutting down trees because the roots hold water in the soil. So cutting down trees is main cause of this drought. So all of you will learn, this is very important. Too much building covers the ground with concrete and the soil cannot absorb water. So nowadays they are building too much buildings, and the concrete of the building covers the soil, and that's why the soil cannot absorb the rain water or other waters. Air pollution from factories also makes the atmosphere drier. So these are the 3 man-made causes of drought. Now we will go to the effects of drought. So what are the effects, or what are the results or the impacts of drought in this area? Rivers, wells, lakes and canals dry up. These are also important. So all of you will learn this. Rivers, wells, lakes and canals dry up. It is harder to cultivate crops in the fields. Fodder for cattle becomes scarce. Fodder means the place where animal can move, or they can have their they can be fed in this place. Scarcity of drinking water prevails. So these are the 4 effects of drought. These are the 4 effects of drought in this drought-prone area, that means in the northwest part of our country. Now we will go to our next page, section C. Now look, the Ministry Disaster Management says as much as 17% of the almond crops, the main paddy crops in the wet season, may be lost in a typical year due to drought. Very much warning. That means 70% of the almond crops, the main paddy crops in our country. We know that there are 3 main types of rice: Aus, Almond and Boro. So an almond is one of them. and this type of rice, crops in the wet season may lost in the the main paddy crops. Crops. Now look, the main paddy crops in the wet season may be lost. That means we can lost these main paddy crops in a typical year due to drought. So dear students, now look at number D. There is more drought in the northwest of Bangladesh because what will you write? Because of the dry weather, insufficient rain and very few rivers. So these are the reasons. So dear students, that's all for today. I hope you have understood about today's topic. All of you will go through your textbook again and again. All of you will go through lesson 1, 2 and 3, and if you have any confusion, you will ask me in your live class, or you can contact me over phone. So dear students, all of you do your homework regularly and listen to your parents. See you again. Allah Hafiz.